Hi there, it's Sahira. This is gonna be a video post instead of a written post. Look at me, I'm smiling and laughing, and I'm actually feeling traumatized. So, the past few days or so, you wouldn't even know that I was a spiritual person if you were inside my head, because I want to say divine outrage, but maybe that's not what it is. Maybe it's my ego or whatever, but I feel like it is divine outrage. My divine outrage with the white nationalists and the Republicans as a whole. And my rage has been playing out in my head. I can't obviously play it out outside of my head or I would get myself into trouble, but it's been playing out inside of my head. And I have a lot of angst about knowing that I work potentially, if not actually, with a lot of Trump supporters, and they may be smiling to my face and acting friendly, but if they vote in this way, then they don't qualify to be my friend at this point. And their vote is not part of a video game. Their vote is not an opinion. Their vote is something dangerous to other people, possibly including me, maybe not including me, but it's dangerous. And I'm in 1 minute terrified of them and of it, and in another moment enraged and cursing, like this is the spiritually dangerous part, literally inside my head, cursing them to experience what they are causing to other people with their vote. And no matter how much they smile and try to act like they like me and try to act like they're nice, their vote is hurting people. So it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. And I've been all over the place inside myself and just trying to pull myself back to some semblance of spirituality. And then this morning, on my way to the chiropractor, I got pulled over for speeding. And to be honest, I didn't even intend to be speeding. I literally thought I was in a 55-mile zone, and I lost consciousness of where I was in my route. I was on automatic pilot. I was not in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. I was in a 40-mile-an-hour zone, and I got pulled over for going 57 miles an hour in a 40 miles an hour zone. I was terrified. I I I remember a time a long time ago when I was a little girl, my Nana got pulled over for speeding on a regular basis, and it never felt life-threatening. And she would have a nice chat with the cop while he was filling out the paperwork, and I guess she had the money for it. It might have been an inconvenience, but it wasn't the end of the world, and I would be in the back seat crying, but the adults would be like, "Oh, Julie, it's just a traffic ticket. I'm not going to jail. Don't worry, I'm not going to jail." But now we live in a time where our government and our police and our neighbors are potentially white nationalists. And I just went into a panic attack, and I was trying to find my registration, and I have to say that my glove compartment is stuffed full of a lot of receipts from car work, and it was hard for me to find my registration, and then I started to become terrified. What happens if I can't show my registration? I know my car is registered, and my fear jumbled up my mind so much that I was literally holding my registration. I was literally looking right at my registration, and I mistakenly thought it was the previous year's registration. I was like, oh my God, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And I was so flustered, and fortunately, I was not dealing with a white nationalist, and he was really nice to me. He could tell that I was terrified, and I pointed to my windshield and I said, there's my registration. This car is registered, but I can't find it. And he said, that's all right. If you can give me your driver's license, I'll run it through. It's all right. And he actually dropped the ticket down to a non-moving violation, so that was very nice too. I have noticed so far in my experience, there's a big difference between local police and state police. And where I live, we have a state police barracks right in our town. But so far in my experience, anytime I've dealt with local police, no matter where, they've always been reasonable people. Like, they still have to do what they have to do, but they're not being mean and scary. But anytime I'm dealing with the state police, it feels like I'm in Army boot camp or something. Just listening to them talk spins me into terror. And now I see the uniform and I spin into terror. And sometimes if I'm sufficiently immersed in spiritual practice, I can rise above that. But today, full-blown panic attack, full-blown, and I was crying afterwards. I was trying to do chanting and spiritual practice, and like my throat was constricted, and I just, like, the tears started flowing, and I thought maybe on some level it was beneficial to have tears flowing because I've been feeling so much, but there hasn't been any way to release it, and at least I cried. Yeah, so then I went to the chiropractor, and I did feel better afterwards, and she gave me some advice about how to reset my nervous system after an event like that. But then I'm not sure how I feel about dismissing that part of me that is terrified, and that part of me that is afraid, and that part of me that really needs to cry. I'm not sure how I feel about just jumping from that to, okay, let's fix it. Let's reset the nervous system right now. I have mixed feelings about that. I mean, obviously, I don't want to suffer, but on the other hand, crying and feeling is a legitimate experience, and especially in the times that we are living in, it is legitimate to feel afraid and to cry and to be angry. It's legitimate. Yeah. I hope we somehow come to the other side of this a better society, but I'm not blind. I'm not blind. I don't feel that every person is gonna magically wake up one day and be enlightened and we all live happily ever after. I just don't feel like that's the reality that we are in. And yeah. Yeah. And at work, some of the people are for all appearances, very nice people, and they smile and they try to be friendly, but I can never make it past who did they vote for. And I felt that way in 2016, that I just went into complete shutdown and I didn't want to talk to anyone, and it took a long time for me to relax a little bit and just take people at face value, and if they were friendly, I would deal with them. But now that same feeling since the insurrection and the emboldening of white supremacists and hate crimes, hate violence, and the potential complete dismantling of our democracy because some people don't like that the Democrats want to help people. They think there's something wrong with that. I don't get it. But it's like the same feeling that I felt in 2016, I feel even more now. That it's a feeling that literally all of creation is swaying in the balance right now, that we're either going to take a step forward in our evolution or we're going to take a step backward, and it's either going to be much better or it's going to be much worse. I don't feel like there's any neutral ground, any gray area at all. And so there's a very nice woman who was trying to say that we're all a family, and inside myself I'm thinking, no. Actually, you are not my family. I'm afraid of you, and I'm angry with you because of your vote, or what I assume is your vote. And in the absence of knowledge about who voted for who, I'm afraid of everybody. I'm avoiding everybody. I don't want anybody to know anything about me that could potentially endanger my life later. I mean, that's the state I am in when it comes to people at work. I don't want to deal with them. I just want to deal with my immediate biological family and my spiritual family. My scope of who I deal with is not wide right now. It is narrow. It is narrow, and I don't want to interact with people at work unless they are somehow able to let me know that they are trustworthy and that they are not a Trump supporter, and that's just how it is. It's like, no, you are not my family. If you voted for a Nazi, you are not. You are not my family. And no, we can't just all get along after what has happened the last 4 years and what might happen. You can't just say, let's all get along, because that isn't real. It's just not. If you want to get along with me, then don't vote for a Nazi. Don't be a Nazi. That would be a good place to start. Anyways, I don't have answers right now, except to immerse in my spiritual practice and try and keep myself as elevated as possible. But I don't have trust in other people except people that I know are spiritual people. I don't have trust that the white nationalists are going to stop being white nationalists, and I don't have full confidence that they won't cause more damage. So it's hard not to be afraid and it's hard not to be angry. And I can't pretend. I only want to deal with trustworthy people. That's it. Maybe some people have better skill set and they're more endowed with abilities to actually help other people grow in consciousness, but I feel like the most I can do is take care of my own consciousness at the moment. Yeah. Okay, that seems like enough. That seems like enough. All right. Be well. And thank you for being part of my spiritual family and for being on the side of social justice. And for whatever work you're doing to make the world more beautiful and more conscious, great or small. All right. Bye-bye.